In this video, we are going to talk about Pengu, the recent price action, some of the crucial support and resistance areas, and where we can expect Pengu to go in the coming days and weeks. So we'll start by looking at the weekly chart for Pengu. What we can see on this weekly chart is that we have clearly broken down below this downtrending channel that we've been in for the past few months. We needed to hold the area of about 1.6 cents, and we have very significantly broken down below it. We are currently sitting on 1.23 cents for Pengu. The structure for Pengu in the last few months has already been pretty alarming, with very clear lower highs and lower lows, but now we've even broken down below this downtrending channel and we lost some very significant support areas. In addition to breaking down below this downtrending channel, we've also broken down below this long-term trend line. It does make sense that Pengu has been doing poorly recently because Bitcoin has been doing very poorly in the last few weeks, dumping about 30% since the all-time high, and with Bitcoin dumping so much, a volatile meme coin like Pengu is going to dump much more. As we've seen in the last couple of months, Pengu dropped over 70% since the recent high back in July. Back in July, the price of Pengu basically got rejected exactly off of the same level that it reached at the high when the coin was just launched back in January of 2025. It reached the same level again and then dumped from there over 70%, as I said. So right now, with us losing both of these very crucial support areas that I have talked about, the downtrending channel and this trend line, the next significant area of support is this major low back in June of this year at around 0.8 cents. For us to reach this area, it would mean for Pengu to lose another 30%, and the structure of Pengu is not looking very promising at the moment. In my opinion, the most significant hope for Pengu to get a recovery is if Bitcoin can recover from here. Bitcoin did get a death cross a couple of days ago, which historically marks a significant local low in the price, and the daily RSI for Bitcoin is at extremely oversold levels. So in my opinion, we can expect a Bitcoin relief rally in the coming days and weeks. We will likely see at least a bit of a recovery for Bitcoin. It's too early to really know if we can get new all-time highs from here because it's so far away at the moment, but it does seem pretty certain to me that we will at least get a relief rally for Bitcoin sometime in the next couple of weeks. And if that does happen, then Pengu can likely get a bit of a relief rally of its own. But with the Pengu structure being so bad, and because of the fact that Bitcoin leads the bull market, and as long as Bitcoin doesn't do well, most altcoins will do even worse, Pengu doesn't seem like a very good hold at the moment. Of course, this isn't financial advice whatsoever, it's just my opinion, but the structure of Pengu is not looking great at the moment, and for Pengu to start to do well again, we first need to see Bitcoin doing well. If we do see Bitcoin doing well again, getting a rally and potentially even approaching new all-time highs, then potentially Pengu can have a significant rally of its own and maybe even start outperforming Bitcoin. But all of this is significantly unlikely to happen at the moment since Bitcoin is doing so poorly. If we look at Pengu on a much shorter time frame on the 1-hour chart, we can see that in the last couple of days, Pengu has basically just been consolidating at around the 1.2 to 1.3 cent area. After a very significant dump in the last couple of weeks, it looks like the price of Pengu is trying to stabilize. It's not as volatile as we are used to see Pengu. This is of course with a correlation to Bitcoin not moving that much in the last few days. So as I said, it's not looking great for Pengu at the moment. The only real chance for it to get a recovery anytime soon is if Bitcoin gets a recovery, which I think will likely happen sometime soon. But even if Bitcoin does get a recovery and Pengu gets a recovery following it, it will likely still lag behind Bitcoin and underperform it, at least for the time being, at least until Bitcoin approaches new all-time highs again, and then we see Ethereum approaching new all-time highs. Until all of this happens, Pengu will likely continue to lag behind them and underperform the major assets in the crypto market. And the only real chance for us to see Pengu doing well again, as well as other meme coins, is if we see a very significant recovery by the entire crypto market, Bitcoin getting some parabolic moves, we see retail coming back to the market, and we see an alt season, then we will likely see Pengu getting very significant rallies like we've seen a few times in the past. Pengu is an incredibly volatile coin, as you know, and when it does well, it can do really, really well and outperform everything in the market and go up 500% before you even notice. But just like it can go up 500%, it can also dump 80-90%. We've seen it dump over 70% just in the last few months, and it's an incredibly risky coin to hold. So make sure to be careful with that. At the moment, again, this isn't financial advice, but I don't think that it's very smart to hold Pengu compared to Bitcoin, especially if the bear market already started, which I'm not convinced that it has, but if it did, then Pengu will continue dumping an insane amount and it can be very, very risky. Of course, I will keep updating you guys as things unfold. Pengu is one of the coins that I talk about the most on this channel, so make sure to subscribe to not miss any future updates about Pengu, as well as about a bunch of other coins, about meme coins, altcoins, and Bitcoin. Make sure to subscribe to not miss any of that out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.